Welcome to Whispers of Wisdom, gentle tales for your heart and mind. The road stretched endlessly before him, a narrow path of stone and dust winding between hills that seemed to whisper his name. The traveller, neither young nor old, but caught somewhere in between, walked with heavy steps. His pack was filled not only with clothes, food, and a blanket, but with the invisible weight of thoughts that never left him. His eyes scanned the horizon, but he never truly saw it. He was thinking instead of tomorrow, what it might bring, how it might unfold, whether fortune or misfortune would meet him at the next bend. And when he was not lost in tomorrow, he drifted backward into memories of what had already happened. A mistake he made years ago, a conversation he wished he had spoken differently, a face he once loved and lost. The road was long, but his journey was longer still, because he carried not only his own steps, but all the yesterdays and tomorrows bound tightly to his heart. As he walked, a soft wind moved across the plain. The grass bent and swayed, catching golden sunlight like ripples on water. Birds lifted from the fields, circling the sky. The world was alive, present, breathing, awake. But the traveller did not notice. His mind was elsewhere. He muttered to himself, "If only I had chosen differently back then, my life would not be like this." And a moment later, "If only tomorrow brings what I hope, then I will finally be happy." His sighs echoed into the air. The sky gave no answer. The earth beneath his feet said nothing. After many hours, weary and distracted, the traveller came to a small stone well at the side of the path. He lowered his pack, bent down, and cupped water into his hands. As the coolness touched his lips, he felt a flicker, just full, or a heartbeat of relief. It was a pure moment, simple, the taste of water, the feeling of his breath, the weight of his body releasing, but almost immediately his thoughts returned. What if the well runs dry tomorrow? What if I cannot find the village before nightfall? The present moment slipped away again, unnoticed. The sun was setting when he finally saw a figure ahead on the road. An elder, sitting on a flat stone, watching the horizon. The elder's posture was relaxed, as though the entire world moved at their pace. Their face was lined, but their eyes were calm, clear as still water. The traveller approached, eager for guidance. "Elder," he called, "tell me, how far is the village ahead? I must know, so I can plan my journey. I must prepare for tomorrow." The elder turned slowly, studying him. Instead of answering, they asked a question of their own. "Traveller, where are you now?" The traveller frowned, confused. "What do you mean?" "I am here, on this road, speaking to you." The elder tilted their head. "Yes, but your heart, is it here, or is it running behind you into yesterday, or racing ahead into tomorrow?" The traveller's lips parted. He had no answer. The elder smiled faintly and patted the stone beside them. "Sit a while, rest. You have been travelling a long time." Reluctantly, the traveller obeyed. He lowered his pack and sat. The elder closed their eyes and breathed slowly, deeply, as though nothing else in the world mattered, except this one breath. The silence stretched between them, not empty, but full, like the hush before dawn. For the first time in many days, the traveller felt something stir within him, a question he could not name, a longing he did not yet understand. And in the stillness of the evening, with stars beginning to bloom overhead, his restless journey was about to take a new direction, not forward, not backward, but inward. The elder spoke at last, their voice low and gentle. The greatest gift you seek is not far away. It is not hidden in tomorrow. It is not lost in yesterday. It is here now, waiting in your open hands. The traveller leaned forward, his heart uncertain, but listening, and thus began the teaching of the present moment. The elder sat still, eyes half closed, as if listening to something deeper than the world around them. The traveller shifted uneasily. Silence was not his companion. He was used to noise, to thought, to constant movement. Finally, the elder spoke. Close your eyes, traveller. Do not fear. The world will not vanish if you stop looking. Reluctantly, the traveller obeyed. His breath felt shallow. His thoughts crowded quickly. What do you notice? The elder asked. I notice my thoughts, the traveller said. They do not stop. They race ahead. Good, the elder replied gently. Now, notice your breath. The traveller inhaled, and for a moment he was aware of air filling his chest. He exhaled and felt the faint release. Something shifted, ever so slightly. Do not try to control, the elder whispered. Only notice. The breath comes, the breath goes. Life moves without your command. And yet, here you are, breathing. The traveller sat longer, breaths rising and falling. His mind tried to resist, but slowly, very slowly, the edges of his restlessness softened. When he opened his eyes, the stars above seemed brighter. The earth beneath him felt steady, and the elder simply nodded. The present moment always begins here, with a single breath. The next morning, they continued together. The elder carried nothing but a small staff. The traveller still bore his heavy pack. As the sun climbed high, the elder stopped by a riverbank. They picked up a smooth stone, held it briefly, then placed it back upon the earth. Traveller, they said, why do you carry so much? These things are necessary, the traveller replied quickly. I need them for the days ahead. The elder's eyes softened. Perhaps, but I do not ask of your pack. I ask of your heart. The traveller blinked. The words stung. You carry regrets like stones, the elder continued. You place them in your memory, and you never set them down. Each one weighs you further away from now. The traveller grew silent. He thought of mistakes, choices that haunted him. The elder gestured toward the river. Place one stone in the water. Let the current take it. With hesitation, the traveller bent, lifted a stone from his pack, and set it gently into the stream. It vanished into the flow, swallowed by moving water. The traveller exhaled, surprised by the sudden lightness in his chest. One regret released, the elder said softly. Now walk lighter. They came upon a still pond, water like glass, reflecting sky and trees. Look into the water, the elder instructed. The traveller knelt. His reflection stared back, lines of worry marking his face. What do you see? Asked the elder. I see myself. The elder's smile was gentle. Not yourself. You see a thought of yourself, a picture, but you are not the lines of worry. You are the seeing. You are the witness of it all. The traveller looked deeper. The reflection shimmered as the wind moved across the surface. His face dissolved into ripples. Something stirred within him. For a moment, he felt himself as vast as the sky reflected in the pond. The elder's voice carried softly. The present moment is the mirror in which truth reveals itself. Look closely, and you will see not the past, not the future, but the living now. As they walked further, the traveller spoke. Elder, I fear what tomorrow may bring. Hunger, loneliness, failure. The elder paused beneath a great oak tree. Lift your arms, they said. The traveller obeyed. Now carry tomorrow in your hands. The traveller frowned. But tomorrow is not here. Exactly, the elder replied, and yet you struggle under its weight every day. The traveller lowered his arms. Suddenly aware of the foolishness, his chest loosened with laughter, the first true laugh in many months. The elder's eyes twinkled. When tomorrow arrives, it will arrive as today, and today you already know how to live. At midday, they rested in a meadow of tall grass. The elder sat, perfectly still. Do nothing, they instructed. The traveller shifted. He was restless. What do you mean? Simply be. Do not seek, do not fix, do not plan. Let the world move, and notice you are part of it. So, the traveller sat. The wind brushed his skin. The scent of earth rose around him. Bees hummed in the flowers. For the first time, he felt himself not as separate, but as belonging. He whispered, I am here. And the elder nodded. Yes, at last. But as the days passed, the traveller's mind often returned to old habits, thoughts of wealth, memories of pain, dreams of success. He confessed this to the elder. I fail often, he said. The elder placed a hand on his shoulder. The shadow wolf of distraction will always call. It is not failure to hear it. It is only failure if you follow. The traveller bowed his head, feeling both comforted and challenged. The present, the elder whispered, is a practice, not perfection. One night, they built a small fire beneath the stars. The elder spoke. Awareness is like this flame. If you tend it gently, it grows warm, steady, alive. If you neglect it, it dies to ash. Feed it each day with your attention, and it will light your way. The traveller stared into the fire. He saw his thoughts rise and fall like sparks, appearing, fading, gone. And for a moment, he understood. They reached a great river. Its voice filled the air, water rushing endlessly forward, a hymn that never ceased. Spray leapt against dark rocks, and the earth smelled of moss and rain. The elder stood at the bank, leaning on his staff. His eyes, seasoned by years, glistened with quiet recognition. The traveller came beside him. His boots were worn from the road, his shoulders heavy from the long journey, yet at the river's edge something stirred in him, as though he had arrived at a place he had been seeking without knowing. Life is like this, the elder said, gazing into the current. You cannot swim backward into yesterday. You cannot leap ahead into tomorrow. You can only swim where you are, in the current. Now. The words struck the traveller's chest. He crouched, reached into the river, and felt its cool force pressing against his hand. He let his fingers drift, carried forward by an invisible hand. He whispered, Now is all I truly have. The elder smiled, not with triumph, but with calm recognition. Yes, now is the only raft that carries us, the only shore we ever stand upon. The traveller stared into the water. Reflections flickered, childhood laughter, grief sinking like stones.
moments of longing darting past like fish. He tried to hold one image, but each dissolved into the next. The river gave him nothing permanent to cling to. "Master," he asked, "if all things pass, how do we live without fear of losing them?" The elder's eyes stayed on the flow. "The river does not grieve its waves. Each rises, travels, dissolves, yet the water remains. So too with us. Do not mistake the passing form for the essence beneath. What is real is not lost. It only changes shape as water changes to rain, to mist, to current." The traveller closed his eyes. Faces came, family, teachers, friends long gone. Yet for the first time he felt not only their absence, but also the...
Time slipped by. The sun drifted west, laying golden bridges on the water. Shadows lengthened. The forest leaned close dot. At last the traveller asked, "Master, will the river ever end?" The elder's smile was gentle. "Does the circle end? This water flows to the sea to the sky to the rain to the earth, and again to the river. What ends only changes. What changes only continues." The traveller bowed his head. The words felt like a blessing. Water poured onto the thirst of his spirit. Hand still damp, heart awake. He whispered again, this time not in fear but reverence. "Now is all I truly have." The river answered with its endless hymn, a song older than memory, one that would continue long after he was gone. And in that song the traveller felt himself belonging, flowing, alive. On the seventh day, as dawn stretched pale gold across the horizon, the elder spoke. "Traveller," he said, his voice quiet but steady as the wind through pine, "remove your pack. Walk without it." The traveller paused, his hands tightened instinctively on the straps across his shoulders. The pack had been with him for every mile of his journey. Inside were the few belongings he owned, food, a blanket, small tools, keepsakes from home. Yet more than these, the pack had come to feel like a part of him. The weight he carried, the burden that defined him. For a long breath, he hesitated, staring at the elder as though asking silently if the request was serious. The elder only waited, eyes calm, staff resting lightly in his palm. At last the traveller obeyed. He slid the straps from his shoulders and set the pack down upon the earth. The sound was dull, but it echoed strangely in his chest, like the closing of a door. He straightened. His back, so long bowed beneath the load, felt strangely tall. His first step was tentative, as if his body did not yet trust the sudden absence. His second step was lighter. By the third, he felt as though something invisible had been lifted from him, not only from his shoulders, but from within. His breath deepened. The air filled him more freely, as though the weight had been pressing even upon his lungs. His arms swung loose at his sides, no longer pinned. His legs moved with ease, almost playful. He walked, and each step was like rediscovering the earth beneath his feet. The elder watched in silence, then nodded with the faintest smile. The traveller whispered, half in wonder, "I thought I would feel empty without it, but I feel full." He stopped and placed a hand upon his chest, surprised by what he found there. It was not hollowness, it was not loss, it was presence, as though by removing the burden he had made space for something great.
Full of what?" the elder asked gently. The traveller searched for words. "Full of presence, full of awareness, full of life." He lifted his eyes to the world around him, and it seemed brighter than before. The sky stretched wider, the trees shimmered with light upon their leaves. Even the air on his skin felt alive, whispering its coolness, carrying the scent of pine and soil. For the first time, he noticed the rhythm of his own heartbeat, steady and strong. Keeping pace with his steps, he noticed the sound of his breath, not ragged from effort but smooth, flowing, as natural as the river they had crossed days before. Every detail that had been hidden beneath the grind of weight revealed itself. The chirp of birds in the distance, the crunch of gravel underfoot, the warmth of sunlight seeping into his shoulders. It was as if the whole world had been waiting patiently behind a curtain, and now the curtain had lifted. "Master," the traveller said slowly, "was it the pack alone that weighed me down, or was it something more?" The elder's eyes glimmered. "The pack was only cloth and leather, stone and wood. But what you carried inside it, and what it taught your body to believe, was heavier. You thought you were your burdens. You thought without them you would be less. But freedom is not emptiness, it is fullness revealed."
The traveller let the words sink in. He remembered nights when the straps cut into his shoulders, when exhaustion made him believe the pack was part of his flesh. He had guarded it fiercely, afraid that losing it would mean losing himself. But now, walking without it, he felt more himself than he ever had. "Then why," he asked, "do we cling so tightly to what burdens us?" The elder walked beside him, his steps as light as drifting leaves. "Because we confuse weight with worth. We believe the heaviest load must be the most valuable, the hardest road the most true. But sometimes the greater wisdom is release. To put down what no longer serves. To learn that being is not measured by carrying, but by seeing." The traveller fell silent. His heart was full. Yet words seemed too small for what he was discovering. He simply walked, and with each step the path itself felt new, alive, and welcoming. After a time, he turned back to where his pack lay. From this distance it seemed strangely small, just a bundle on the earth. For so long it had been the center of his struggle, but now he saw it clearly for what it was, an object, not an identity. He whispered again, though this time not in surprise but in reverence, "I am full." The elder inclined his head. "Yes, when you let go of weight, you do not lose yourself, you find yourself. The space within you was never empty. It was waiting." The road stretched onward, bright with the sun of morning. The traveller breathed deeply and stepped forward, lighter, freer, alive, carrying nothing, yet carrying everything. At last, they returned to a hilltop. The path wound upward through grass, silvered by dew. Their steps were slow, unhurried, for the journey had softened into silence. At the crest, the world opened wide. Dawn spread across the sky like paint upon a vast canvas, streaks of gold, rose and violet stretching toward infinity. The sun's first light touched the land gently, as if waking it from sleep. Valleys lay below in shadow, but the peaks caught fire with brilliance. The elder stood still, his staff planted firmly in the soil. He let the wind pass over him, cool and sharp, carrying the scent of pine and stone. His eyes, long accustomed to both storm and calm, softened in the glow. The traveller came beside him. His breath rose like a prayer in the morning chill. His shoulders, once bent by burdens, were straight. His gaze lifted easily to the horizon. The elder turned to him. "What have you learned, traveller?" The question lingered in the air, as if the dawn itself waited for the answer. The traveller's eyes shone, that the gift is not yesterday, not tomorrow, but this moment, this breath, this step, this sky. He lifted his hands slightly, palms open, as though to hold the light pouring over them. His voice trembled with reverence, but it was not uncertainty. It was the trembling of truth spoken aloud. He looked at the elder and added softly, "All my journey I searched for meaning in distant places, memories behind me, dreams ahead of me. But now I see. It was here all along. The gift is always here, waiting in the now." The elder's lips curved into a smile, small yet radiant, like the first spark of fire in darkness. "Then the gift is yours. Carry it always." The traveller bowed his head. His heart felt wide, though the hilltop itself had taken root within him. For a time they stood together, saying nothing more. The silence was not empty. It was alive, alive with birds calling from unseen branches, with the rush of wind over the ridge, with the heartbeat of the earth itself. The traveller inhaled deeply, and the air seemed richer than any he had ever known. Each breath was enough. Each step, even the ones yet to come, was already whole. He turned once more to the horizon, where light continued to rise. He thought of the river, the pack, the teachings of the days behind, and he saw how each lesson had brought him here, not to an end, but to a beginning. The elder's staff tapped softly against the earth. "Come," he said. "The path continues." The traveller nodded, but within him he knew, whatever lay ahead, the gift was already his. He would carry it not as weight, but as light, not as memory, but as presence. And so, on that hilltop, bathed in dawn, the journey became the moment, and the moment, the gift. The traveller looked out across the horizon. The world seemed new, but nothing had changed except his seeing. The same hills rolled into the distance. The same valleys lay cradled in shadow. The same skies stretched above, painted with drifting clouds. And yet, every stone, every blade of grass, every whisper of wind pulsed with life. Every sound, every colour, every breath shimmered with presence. The rustle of leaves became music. The call of birds was no longer background, but a song meant for this very moment. The warmth of the sun on his face felt like a blessing. The cool breeze across his skin felt like a gift. He closed his eyes. Darkness gathered behind his lids, but even there light pressed gently, waiting. He breathed in, and the air carried not only oxygen, but awareness itself. He breathed out, and the earth seemed to exhale with him. And in that moment, he understood. The present was not small. It was not a single grain of sand, fleeting, fragile, lost to the tide. It was vast. It was endless. It was home. He opened his eyes, and the horizon no longer marked distance. It was invitation. Everywhere he looked, life was alive with itself. He realized he had never truly seen, never truly listened, until now. Beside him, the elder's voice rose soft, nearly a whisper. The present moment is the only truth, and it is always here, waiting for you. The traveller's eyes stung with tears, not of sorrow, but of recognition. Every step of his long road, every burden, every lesson, every silence had brought him to this point. And yet, he saw now, the destination was not a place at all. It was awareness. Slowly, he bowed. His bod.
He bent, but his spirit rose. Gratitude filled him, wide as the sky. His journey was complete, and yet it had only just begun, for the fire of awareness flickered within him, not the fire of striving, not the fire of grasping, but the fire of being, a steady flame, a light no wind could extinguish, a glow that would walk with him wherever his path would lead. He lifted his head. The elder met his gaze with silence, a silence that needed no words, and together they stood in the vastness of now, unmoving, unseeking, alive.
As the story fades into silence, may its whispers stay with you, guiding your heart gently onward. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more calming tales and timeless wisdom